you for joining us tonight. I'm Dustin Lukey. While President Biden plans to meet face-to-face next week with fellow NATO leaders, Congress will welcome a virtual visit from Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky tomorrow.
They already killed 97 Ukrainian children. We are not asking for much. We're asking for justice, for real support, which will help us to prevail, to defend, to save life all of the world.
The Ukrainian leader speaking to the Canadian Parliament today as the fighting intensifies in Kyiv. The capital's mayor confirming at least 4 deaths following Russian missile attacks on 4 buildings in residential areas. The head of the UN Refugee Agency says more than 3 million people have now fled Ukraine since the invasion began 20 days ago, more than half making their way to Poland. Winona native Tyler Jacob moved to Ukraine back in November. He got married in January and spent his time teaching English to the Ukrainian people there. But when the Russians started threatening Ukraine's border, everything changed. News 19's Joe Minnie spoke today with Tyler's mother, who now hasn't heard from him in days.
Tyler Jacob was a newlywed English teacher working in Ukraine, trying to develop his Russian-speaking ability.
He was actually learning it. He has sent me messages in Russian, and he was speaking it. I listened to a voicemail from him that I got that says, "Good night, Mama, I love you," and it's all in Russian.
Living and learning about Ukrainian culture, Tyler realized how calm they were while Russian forces built up at the country's doorstep.
When he got over there, the tanks were starting to arrive in the city and all that stuff. So we knew something was going to come up, but we just didn't know when. When it came closer, he's like, "Mom, everybody," even after the war started happening, he's like, "Mom, everybody's still walking around like it's nothing."
The calm didn't last long, and soon Tyler found himself behind enemy lines.
Somebody contacted them and said that there's buses coming in and that they were taking out the foreigners out of the country. And he calls me and he goes, "Mom, I don't know what to do. I've talked to my father. He says I shouldn't do it, but Mom, if I don't do this and they force us to do this, then we're stuck. I have to go. And if I don't go, I'm going to be stuck here till the war is done anyway." So I'm like, "Well, do what you feel is right and what is going to be safe, and just let me know what's going on." So he got on the bus and we were texting up until about 8 a.m. Saturday morning, and I have not heard back from him since.
Last seen processing through a checkpoint in Crimea, Tyler's family is left not knowing what's next for him.
All I want is him to come home. I've done everything I can and think of right now, and I know I've got the support behind me between family and friends, and now all the government that's helping, trying to find him.
So for now, it's waiting, hoping, and praying for a message of good news. In Stockton, I'm Joe Minnie, News 19.
Now, since the Russian invasion, Tyler's wife hasn't been able to work, so Tina has set up a GoFundMe site to help her with living expenses. We've got a link to that site over at WXW.com.